Thank you for calling Hail Mary Hotline. This is Bridget. Please hold while I transfer you.
Welcome back to Hail Mary Hotline. I'm your host, Taylor.
I'm your host, Sarah.
And I gotta say, kind of a boring weekend. I'm gonna say it. I was not excited about really any football this weekend, which is a rarity.
And I think the fact that the SEC short was bad kind of proves it.
Sorry, SEC shorts. Most of the time you're right on it, but I mean, they had nothing to work with this week, really. Mm-hmm. Florida, walking away with the Grim Reaper at the end was pretty good, but I mean, it's boring weekend.
Yeah, and I think you wouldn't believe it unless you read the stat sheet.
Which we try not to do a whole lot of here, but for some of these games, you have to hear the stats to understand just how bad some of these performances were.
So bear with us while we run through these Saturday snapshots like we're reading last week's stat sheets.
Yeah.
So starting with arguably probably the only decent game of the weekend and was still a not very good game if you're Florida.
Yeah.
Florida versus Miami. Miami walked away winning 26-7.
When is it time to get rid of Billy?
I don't think anybody else is going to take that job. I think even with as bad as it's going, I don't think they can fire mid-season.
I mean, his buyout is $21 million. So from that perspective, I understand, but 2 programs have already fired their coach. 3 weeks into the season. We're 4 now, but still, it has been done.
Programs that are worse than Florida.
So much worse than Florida. R.I.P. UCLA.
Yeah.
But I saw something the other day. I think it was at the beginning of, no, it was right after their loss to USF, and Napier would have had to win the next 28 straight to match the win percent that got his predecessor fired.
Yeah.
And they have a really rough schedule down the road.
Billy is like 20-22 with Florida right now, I think.
It's something like that.
Something like that. Which is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for bad Florida.
And they play a lot of ranked SEC teams and Florida State coming up through the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can make the argument that a lot of these are quality losses, but at the same time, if you don't win any of these games, it does not matter.
I mean, you can wait 3 weeks and let Georgia be the nail in the coffin. You can wait 4 and let Kentucky be the nail in the coffin, but do you really want to wait that long to where you let Kentucky be the nail in your coffin?
I don't know if Kentucky wants to do that. I think they want their coach gone too. But conversation for another day. So, I mean, Florida is 1-3 for the first time since 1986.
Yeah.
Yikes.
This game was atrocious for a world of reasons. If nothing else than the fact that they went 0 for 13 on third downs, which is hard to do. I feel like. Maybe not if you're Florida, but generally speaking, it's kind of hard to go over 13 on third downs.
Hear me out here. What if Napier just said, you know what? How bad can I make it?
How bad can I possibly be? For anybody over the age of like
18?
20, like 18 listening, that's a Lorax reference.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the kids movie. But I mean, 7 first downs compared to Miami's 21 first downs. So they're at least not even improving. They're downgrading from last week's game against LSU because they were able to at least hold LSU to 10 first downs. I just... How bad can bad Florida get? We were kind of joking I was at least the first 2 weeks when I was saying, FSU, you've got 8 weeks to beat Florida. Well, Florida, you've got like 6 weeks to beat FSU the way that this is going.
I don't know if I see it happening. I could be wrong, but as of right now, I just don't know that I see that happening.
If we're going on a downward trend.
Yeah. And I need to double check my sources and see if this is correct, but I saw a little bit ago that Lagway is injured again. which, I don't know that Florida fans would be too upset about at this current moment, given his performance for the first 4 weeks, but still, it's kind of one more thing right now.
He's got to be hurting somewhere with the hits that this guy is getting.
5 interceptions. Like, I cannot get over that.
Yeah.
But that's, we talked about that. It's okay. It's in the past.
He's not our quarterback.
No, he's not. Thank God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Lagway went 12 for 23, 52.2% for 61 yards, which is, Florida's lowest yardage since 1999 versus Bama. On the flip side, Beck went 17 for 30 with only a 56.7% completion for 160 yards. I was not, overly impressed with Miami. I honestly think they should have beat a bad Florida team by more.
Mm-hmm.
And those aren't necessarily, great numbers from Carson Beck. But I don't know. And we'll get into this later in the episode, but I think jumping them up to number 2 in the AP poll is kind of ridiculous.
I think that they were allowed one little bit of an game, if you know what I mean. They've been a little too strong starting off this season. So, everybody has an iffy, you shouldn't have done that. You're better than that.
But moving up 2 for that, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. You still won. I get it. Big whoop. It's against bad Florida. But number 2 on the AP poll, I feel like is a little strong. But I also feel like some people that were holding those top spots in the AP poll shouldn't have been there to start with. And more on that to come later. But that being said, this is Miami's 9th win over Florida in the last 11 meetings. And, for Carson Beck, he has now beat Florida as a Georgia Bulldog and as a Miami Hurricane. And in an interview was now saying he doesn't like Florida very much anymore, considering he's, from Florida, used to be a Florida fan. I think that everybody should be happy to hear that he's renouncing that that fanship.
Everybody matures eventually.
Yeah. And this wasn't an excessively penalized game either. So
now I'll tell you what also was not an excessively penalized game. Did you see the non-call for pass interference in the Auburn-Oklahoma game?
Yes!
That is the worst non-call I have ever seen. The SEC refs apologized. They were like, we missed it.
And with that comes our next game on the Saturday Snapshots. Auburn versus Oklahoma. With Oklahoma 24-17. People are saying that calls like that is what lost Auburn the game. Auburn fans are saying what calls like that is what lost Auburn the game. Let me correct myself.
Respectfully, Jackson Arnold getting sacked 9 times is what lost you the game. But I digress.
Tying for an Oklahoma record, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, I understand that plays like that, atrocious as they may be, you cannot blame the refs for losing you the entire game. That is something that I will die on this hill. Make the plays before then so that play doesn't matter.
And if we've learned anything in the past years, SEC bias refs lose SEC games, okay?
They do!
Don't forget, SEC bias refs have gone way out of favor for SEC teams.
If anything, I think we're worse off with an SEC crew.
We are.
It's just...
I'm not saying give me the Big Ten. Don't give me the Big Ten.
Ooh, anybody but ACC.
Yeah.
They call it the almost competitive conference for a reason.
Yeah. But, oh my gosh. Yeah, that play. And Isaiah, he went 9 catches for 127 yards, but one of those catches was that play where the argument was made that he was running off the field and then came back on. I saw something where there's, some 20 cameras on that field and only one camera caught him maybe running off. And he looked at the ref when, afterwards when he did it, and the ref gave him the okay. So the SEC also issued an apology. The refs issued an apology. It's Auburn, honestly, I don't know what more you're asking for, but once we get into reading our theoretical stat sheet, it was not that call that lost you the game.
No, it wasn't. And I mean, what else do you want? Do you want the refs to say, oh, here's your I don't know, apology win in your record. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Do better.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Oklahoma's quarterback, and he turned out to not be very good. So why don't we do a little bit better?
Talk about how personal that game was.
Wow. Oklahoma upgraded big time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty impressed by John Mateer. I've seen right now that he's one of the favorites to win the Heisman. I don't know if I would totally go that far yet, but I also haven't seen enough of football in general and looked at some of the other quarterbacks who were in the running to, really say one way or the other, but I'm pretty impressed by him.
And we're only a quarter of the way through. It's still early. There's still a lot more football to see. We have a lot of backloaded schedules this season.
That we do.
So it's definitely going to be like a week 8 kind of mark, I'm thinking, before we have real quarterbacks sticking out as, okay, like, these are your sure, like, top 6, top 10 runners for the Heisman, and kind of are able to follow them a little bit more.
Yeah.
But getting into Jackson Arnold, somebody's taking a lot of hits, and he took 9. One being a safety for Oklahoma. So congrats on the 2 points you won with that. Yeah, Oklahoma had 2 guys tying for some of those sacks, one with 2.5 and another one with 2, which summed up to be 7 different guys that got some sacks out of Arnold. And Arnold had a horrible game. He went 21 for 32, 65.6% completion, 220 yards passing.
Which is not bad. But
Rushing, he went 20 carries for negative 11 yards, averaging negative 0.6 rushing yards.
And Auburn as a team went 67 yards on 36 carries, which averages to less than 2 yards a carry.
For some team who has a semi-running quarterback,
I don't think they can say that anymore.
no. That is one of the worst statistics I've ever seen on somebody's quarterback who, has played a little bit competitive, has gotten out of the pocket on a few things. I just don't think that you can carry that title anymore. And Jackson Arnold is not proving to be what you needed, Auburn.
There are very few times where I look at a stat sheet and kind of just say, how? And this is one of those times. Like, I look at it and I just cannot understand.
So, I mean, and we really don't like to just read the sheet. We like to sit back and talk about what the team actually did. But this is just one of those games where you have to read it. Otherwise, it's unbelievable.
It is. The numbers speak for themselves in this game. Like, there's very little else to say. It was just that bad.
Oh, they yell at you big and bold.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all highlighted in our notes for a reason. But as bad as they were, this was kind of like Carson Beck. This was like a kind of shaky game for John Mateer, and he still did a great job, I feel like. I feel like Oklahoma still did a great job, especially considering that Mateer transferred from Washington State to replace Arnold. So it's good to see what he replaced. Mateer went, 24 for 36, 66.7%, 271 yards. But the difference is that on 10 attempts, he went for 29 yards rushing.
Yep.
So, with half as many attempts, was able to do like 3 times what Jackson Arnold did. Mm-hmm. So,
And the average of 3.7 more yards per attempt is, that may not be the correct math, but you get what I mean.
Something close.
Yeah.
I don't know, Auburn fans, how in that game you really thought you were to think that call is what lost it for you. Or at least from some extremists that I'm seeing. I won't say all of you, but
yeah. I think again, at some point you've got to ask, when does it come down to coaching and he can't get the right recruits? Because Freeze has been at Auburn for 2-3 years now, and they've done a whole bunch of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know if Auburn fans are unhappy enough right now to call for him to be fired, but it wouldn't surprise me if this kind of, whole lot of nothing continues, if he maybe finds himself on the hot seat before too long.
I think right now they're summing up to more of a quarterback and team issue than a coaching issue, which I think a lot of it just might be recruiting. I think that Jackson Arnold at Auburn is not, coming up to be as good as a recruit as they thought they were getting. So
he was a really highly rated transfer recruit.
Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm. Like, I know it was a huge deal to Auburn fans that they were getting this guy, and I have just not been
Oh, we
impressed.
talked about it.
We did.
But he's just not living up to the blue chip that he was when Auburn got him.
There's a few of those.
Interesting.
Hmm.
But we digress. Somebody
Yeah.
else that made a bit of a difference on the Oklahoma side was Jeremiah Cobb. Their running back went 6 carries for 61 yards, averaging 10.2 yards a carry.
Pretty
For
good.
some great numbers. Grayson Miller, their kicker, I wanted to shout out because of last week's episode. Just had to call it. Averaged 54.4 yards on 5 punts with a long 66.
That is impressive.
That is a dang good game.
Yeah.
If I ever did see it. Auburn, I think losing to Oklahoma when Oklahoma has proven to be such an up-and-coming team this
Yeah.
year. And granted, holding them to 24 and getting to 17, I think gives them a little bit of hope. Not in the way that Georgia's married to hope, but
No.
gives them a little bit of hope that they can at least, not always in the way they need to, but compete a little bit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I do.
So hopefully they take the upcoming weeks to make some heart changes,
Do some soul searching.
do some soul searching, but make some changes.
Yeah.
O-line, do your homework. I beg of you. Protect your quarterback, but other than that, not a ton of notes.
That's okay. The numbers really do speak for themselves in this
Yeah.
one, which is, again, not something we like to do, but wow.
It's one of those games where you have to talk about it just a little bit.
Yeah.
There's just no getting around it.
There's not. Like, no matter what, you have to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
our next game we're going to talk about is Illinois and Indiana. And for those of you who don't know, Illinois was ranked number 9. Indiana was ranked what?
19.
19. Indiana won 63-10.
And Illinois is now sitting at 23.
Again, we'll get into this more later. But how are they still ranked after losing by 53?
But if you're Indiana and you had a great weekend, this is your first win over a top 10 opponent in 5 years. So yay, Indiana.
You had your chance last year. You did it this year. Yay!
Yay! And the game started with a block punt return for 11 yards to score. So this game was just doomed from the start,
It really
as
was.
one might say.
It really was.
Yeah.
No. Again, sometimes you just have to talk about the numbers. So, Illinois had a total of 161 yards, which, doesn't sound so bad until you hear Indiana's 579 total yards. Illinois had 9 first downs to Indiana's 31.
Walk him like a dog.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
How? That's when you just say, all right.
You just, my official
Good game.
resignation as a program, no more football for me, I'm in timeout kind of thing.
Send in the bench. Just let him go have fun. Everybody gets a participation trophy.
All right, Pee-wee, time to step up and play with the big dogs.
Hey, trainers on the sideline. Y'all have played football, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Time to go back to backyard flag football basics for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until you can earn your right to play on the actual football field.
We're gonna practice Skittles until you see it in your sleep.
Oh my gosh. For those who don't know, that was our flag football team's coined scoring play. We called it Skittles. And could I tell you what that play was right now? No. But all I know is that when our coach made a little rainbow with his hands on the sideline,
Skittles.
we won. It had a 100% success rate.
It did. Skittles always works.
Illinois needs Skittles right now.
Everybody needs Skittles.
Everybody needs some Skittles. But here's where we just have to sit back and laugh. Just laugh at some of these numbers. Okay, so we're going to go back to quarterbacks, which we usually do numbers on quarterbacks regardless. It's kind of a common theme on the show, but just especially. Luke Altmaier, Illinois, 14 for 22, 63.6%, 146 yards, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to Fernando Mendoza, who had a act of God of a game, went 21 for 23, 91.3 3%, 267 yards, 11.6 yards per attempt, 16 adjusted yards per attempt, 260.6 efficiency rating because he had 5 passing touchdowns.
See, I think at that point I would just say, I'm retired. Like, I'm walking out after that. It will not get better.
I'd forfeit. like maybe around 200 yards, I'd forfeit.
Yeah.
Don't let him get that last 67 yards. And Luke Altmaier had a rushing game that was arguably worse than Auburn because he went 9 carries for negative 27 rushing yards.
Oh, good. That's negative 3 yards of play.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done. Well done, good sir.
And then another running back like Oklahoma that had a really good game, 12 carries for 107 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Well done.
So did we see Oklahoma versus Auburn twice? Maybe.
Maybe. At least Auburn made it close.
Same thing, different font.
Yeah.
But when you lose by...
Same orange, different letters.
Yeah. It just...
I would forfeit the rest of the season after that. Like, I'd just say, I don't feel like playing anymore. I don't like this game.
I don't like this game. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. You give up and go home a little bit at that point.
I mean...
They should have been running sprints after the game. Not... Who was it? Syracuse last week?
That was Syracuse.
Who won at home and had to run sprints? Dude, Illinois and Auburn, y'all better get together and run some sprints. Do some suicides for that game.
Can I see Samford versus Illinois?
Shut up! I think Samford might be able to actually put up a score.
Don't go that far.
It could be one score.
Maybe one.
They scored against Baylor.
That's true, they did.
Then I give Samford 2 scores. 2 Scooby snacks for Samford.
Is it bad that I really want to see that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Another ranked matchup of the weekend. Honestly, I don't really care about this game, but it happened. Texas Tech beat Utah 34-10. Here's your gold star, I guess. Like, yay, good for you. Now, another high-scoring affair. Vanderbilt beat Georgia State 70-21. And we have lots of gold stars for Vandy.
Mm-hmm.
Vandy's 4-0. It is the first time since 1918 that Vandy has scored 70 points. First time in 20 years to score a touchdown in their first 4 possessions, which I did not realize.
Yeah.
That is insane.
But it's Vandy.
It is Vandy. And the first time since 1916 to score 30-plus points in each of their first 4 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a year to be Vanderbilt.
I saw something. It was like 4 years ago, you couldn't even get like a full stadium for maybe a conference game that Vanderbilt could win, and now they're like few empty seats at all of their games this season. Which is like, you gotta be happy for Vandy.
I'm so happy for Vandy.
You know that they've been suffering for a long time.
Gold crown King Vandy.
Yes, and also we have potential for a ranked Vanderbilt versus Alabama matchup this year.
Yeah, they play Alabama right after Alabama plays Georgia. So.
2 years in a row? Maybe.
These are the kind of things you pray for when you watch football.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 5-0 Vandy. Let's make it happen.
Pray for a 5-0 Vandy.
Yes.
And if you love football, you will too.
Oh, yeah. College football is better when Vandy is good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, I guess really the most entertaining SEC matchup of the weekend. Well, not the most. Auburn and Oklahoma, but the second most, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina, Missouri. Missouri won 29-20. I mean,
South Carolina is also just on a downward trend.
they are.
Really rough tackling. Play calling was a little bit better, but running game and the O-line looked just as bad as against Vandy, if not a little bit worse. Mizzou had a good run game.
Yeah.
That's about all I took away from that.
I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
Good for Mizzou.
They cooked a bad South Carolina.
Yay!
But South Carolina is definitely on the board of teams that is having some real issues this season and some coaching issues.
You know who else is having a little bit of a rough season?
Oh!
That would be Arkansas. Ball control? Ever heard of it?
Memphis made some bacon out of Arkansas pigs. Okay?
Amen to that.
That's all I'm going to say. Just an inexcusable game. Arkansas was 17 for 17 in the red zone going into this game. And that is probably atrociously torn up after losing by 1 to Memphis. You let Memphis score 32 points on you.
Mm-hmm. How?
I wish I was a Memphis fan this weekend. It just... I mean, it's week 4, guys.
Yeah, like already?
Yeah.
Like, already?
Get your act together. It's week 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just yeah.
We should not be making mistakes like this at week 4
No.
against unranked teams.
Funny you should say that.
Mm-hmm.
So, the last game that we're going to talk about from last weekend, Syracuse-Clemson. Syracuse won 34-21. Clemson has now had more lightning delays this season than wins, as they are 1-3, and they have had 2 lightning delays.
Doesn't this sound like last season when Florida had more inches of snow than FSU had wins because they were 2-10 and Florida got like 9 inches of snow in some places?
Mm-hmm. How long do you keep Dabo around? Like, I do not understand, especially after last week when he said if Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way, and then he goes and loses this game.
Yeah.
And Saban said something. He said the day that Dabo becomes irrelevant is the day that college football players can start being paid. And it's completely true. Because since the introduction of transfer portal and the NIL and everything like that, Clemson has become more and more irrelevant. And so I think at some point, Clemson has to say either you change with the times or you go on your way.
And Clemson is seriously suffering
Yeah.
because they cannot keep up.
They're 1-3.
Yeah.
For the first time since like 2008 or something. It's been a while.
I remember being excited a couple of years, I say couple years ago. We opened on the road against Clemson. And
We did. When was that? Was that 21?
maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
I think it was
Something
21.
around that range. And that was a really fun game.
It was close. I
Yeah.
think we only won 13-10.
Mhm.
Like, it was a close game, and it was one of those that it was like you were on the edge of your seat the whole time.
And it took me 5.5 hours to drive home. Okay, that's how good it was. That's how many people were there.
Yes.
But that's the last time I remember being excited seeing Clemson.
Yeah. I just don't feel like they've been relevant since they won with Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, you hate to keep bringing it up, but at the same time, like,
I don't know, because
you gotta let the guy go.
my thing is, Saban and Dabo were kind of, Saban was much more of a dynasty than Clemson was, but, I mean, Saban recognized that the game is changing. He didn't necessarily want to change with it because he didn't want to deal with all the politics and all of the new ways of recruiting and keeping players that comes with this new era of college football. And so he got out. And I think Dabo needs to realize that he is old school now.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not going to work in this new way that college football is played. And if he cannot understand that, then Clemson needs to invest their money in a coach who will play by the new rules.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying 100%. I think this is where we see Nick Saban make some really smart changes, and where that might have been the year for Dabo to also take a step back and realize, you know what, maybe I'm not, even if he wants to, just not built to change with the times, and maybe move on to a more, step back, commentate,
Yeah.
watch and see what Clemson does, and leave a legacy where it's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get out while you're ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just one of those things.
It is.
But that's all last week.
Yes.
Going on to the main event, we have some big things happening this weekend. Coming to Georgia is Alabama. And oh my gosh, did we have fun looking up some stuff about this game.
I think I can safely say that this is a game that has been anticipated for years now. Like when I heard that Georgia was playing a home and home with Alabama, this is the game that I have been looking forward to for a long time. Like sure, Ole Miss later in the season, Texas later in the season, those are going to be fun, but like this is the game.
And it's at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how many of you understand just how important it is that we are playing Alabama at home. Because since the year 2002, okay, 21st century, Georgia has played Alabama at home 3 times. 2003, 2008, which I know every single person listening remembers, and 2015. 03 is the only game that we won. And for those of you who don't know, the game that we played in 2008, where it was a blackout at home against Bama, and we lost 30-41, just so happened to have been Saturday, September 27th. Guess what this Saturday is? September 27th. 17 years to the day since we've played Alabama at home in what was proposed to be a blackout.
How do you not do your research? Like you didn't think maybe I should check before we
Propose a blackout at home against Bama on September 27th when 17 years earlier exactly was when we had a blackout against Bama at home and we lost.
This is how horror movies start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it Really?
Are you trying to make Groundhog Day into a Georgia film?
Yeah.
It just...
Yeah. Thankfully, I think everybody has kind of backed off on that because somebody found out and said you can't do that.
Apologies were issued and propositions were retracted. Thank God. It's now supposed to be a red out, which I'm hoping people stick to. So wear your red.
Wear your red.
Mm-hmm.
I know we will be.
Yeah. But I had to put that in there. To the day.
To the day.
I don't know if the committee thinks they're funny and that was on purpose, which it probably wasn't, but...
There's a Bama fan on there that's like, you know what would be really funny?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Georgia, Alabama, we have some serious things to talk about.
Yeah.
Getting prepared for this week.
The bye week kind of scares me. I don't know if I love having a week off before, honestly, probably one of our turning points of the season, but it is what it is. I have no doubt that Kirby used said bye week to work on a bunch of stuff with his players and to kind of get it in their heads. You have to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I don't want to get my hopes up until I see the final score.
I think that what we saw against Tennessee is that Georgia can and is ready to compete.
Absolutely.
I think we saw that Gunner is ready to dig in the dirt and he is ready to stick it out. So I honestly, after seeing Tennessee, have a lot more confidence in Gunner's ability to play the game.
I agree.
And hopefully after seeing and playing in Tennessee, we'll be a little bit more comfortable coming back home and playing Bama. And maybe the team will take this bye week to have a little more confidence in each other. O-line will have some heart changes. We will actually play 5-on-5 and not 4-on-5. Just one of the things that was, I think...
Yeah, that's one of the major things that I saw against Tennessee that worries me. Like, if we don't fix that, I think we're going to be in trouble. But if we do, I think we'll be okay. The 4-on-5 was...
The 4-on-5, right tackle spinning out a little bit, not sticking to his gap. Drew Bobo, center is a really important position. I hope you play well going into this game.
That's all we'll say on that one.
Yeah. we looked decent week 1. We looked like we were making some changes from last season. Now you're digging your nose back in the dirt. You're not making blocks. That nose tackle is coming right for you. Please don't turn away when we play Bama.
Yeah.
Because, oh my gosh, their linemen they're playing a little overweight and they're playing really slow. They play really heavy. But that doesn't mean anything if y'all can't line up, stick to your gaps, know who your man is when you're on the line, and fight.
Go for them.
Yeah, and go for them. Fight like they're good Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Fight like Saban is on the other side of the sideline and you're about to wet your pants.
Because for all that matters, he is.
Yes.
Imagine him there if that is what it takes. Beat Alabama.
There's no excuse.
No.
Especially when Alabama is playing the way that they are.
I know I said it last week, but if we do not beat Alabama in the regular season this year, I don't know when we will again.
Mm-mm. No, and O-line was a lot of the issues. So, yeah, sorry. Really, the little spiel with that, and want to try and stay strengths-based, honestly, when talking about this, because I feel like we do have a lot going for us that Tennessee really prepared us to play Alabama, and I think that if it were the other way around, Tennessee, like if we played Alabama before Tennessee would be a much worse game.
I agree.
If that makes sense.
I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, time in the pocket and other things like that, I think protecting the box all comes back to O-line and also on Gunner's ability to, yes, read your options and check down the field, but also keep account of how long you are in the box because he's missing his checks when, his receivers make their stops and he's not ready to throw because the O-line isn't defending and he's getting a little nervous. He misses his checks and now safeties drop and, DBs figure out where they are in space because Alabama's DBs are also horrendous, playing on the back of their heels and playing slow. You got to still work around that because it's so easy to let them beat you up. So, yeah. So I know it was flag football, but big whoop as somebody like Taylor who played defense for 2 years and as someone like me who played guard for 2 years, you just learn to pay a little bit more attention to even if it's football, whatever, you learn to pay a little bit more attention to like the positions that you played. So, like, you know what I mean? And as people who only got to rush together for one play in one game in 2 years because coaches had to keep us on opposite sides of the ball.
They did. But the one play, there's photo evidence of it.
There's photo evidence. It's just one of those things. But I do believe in wide receivers. I feel like we have really decent ball security. I feel like Branch is going to be a key player in this game regardless of which way it goes.
Agree.
I feel like the safety room has learned to play a little bit smarter. I feel like we might drop a little too soon when it comes to some plays. They look a little bit lost, but I feel like we're really getting our ground with safeties. We're not letting everything go so far beyond the sticks.
Yeah.
Like we have in recent years. And where corners and everything has, for the love of God, absolutely killed us.
Yeah.
But yeah, all goes to say, I think this is the first game in a long time where I can actually look at Georgia and look at Alabama and see kind of how Georgia has progressed and have a little bit of actual confidence that we can win, and it's not just, blind hope saying,
yeah,
oh,
it'll happen somehow.
We're gonna win because I love the Dogs and don't know ball, but
that's happened one too many times. Yeah, not this year.
Mm-mm.
No, but I got a question for you. So let's say that Georgia does win this game. What do you think happens to DeBoer?
It will go down as the year that Alabama lost to Georgia.
It will.
Like, that will be his entire season, I fear, if they lose. Like, that will be the end of him.
I think it will. I think they're going to be in trouble if he loses this game.
Because now it's been, 15 or 16 games that he's played? Something around that.
Yeah, something like that.
But it's just, he still, I don't remember exactly what it was, but won as many games. Not won, lost as many games. It was like 4-15 as Saban lost in his entire
I
career
think that was just to unranked teams, but still.
to unranked teams, but still.
And you can tell me all you want that there will never be another Saban, because I know there never will be, but still. To come into a program that is that well established and to do that poor of a job.
I mean, they got to think they're walking into a series where, we're 1-6 right now against Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Historically speaking, we should not even be on the field.
No.
But the way that DeBoer is raising his team, the way that his players are playing, the lack of discipline and the lack of, honestly, ball knowledge or at least consistency to at least, well, other than that they are doing a consistently poor job. But you know what I mean? Just the qualities that you would never see, like, step foot into Nick Saban's room if he were still leading. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have some real confidence.
I do too. I just can't.
I
For my
know.
own personal sanity, I can't let myself get too hopeful. But I think Georgia has a very real chance this year.
I still don't love that we are favored to win on ESPN matchup.
I don't either.
I don't care what it is. I think it's mocking us. Even if
Yes.
we do win, and I hope we do, I feel like having Georgia favored to win against the word Alabama, I don't care what sport it is,
It feels wrong.
it just feels wrong.
It does.
It feels like a slap in the face.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so other than Georgia Alabama this weekend, it's kind of a loaded weekend of football. Like, we have Notre Dame and Arkansas, which is not a great game, but still. LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Mississippi State, and then Oregon, Penn State, and Kentucky, South Carolina.
Yeah.
It's a good weekend.
Even if you're Kentucky and South Carolina and you're going to be the Pee Wee game this weekend,
It'll be a good game.
it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
I hope you get plenty of orange slices and Capri Suns. But
And Gushers. you can't forget the Gushers.
and Gushers.
Yeah.
Maybe Team Mom will bring you some Gatorade. You know where we're going. It's Kentucky and it's South Carolina. They're just...
Yeah. It'll happen. It'll probably be a good game, but... Yeah.
Because they're, like, equally as bad, not because they're equally as good. Kind of thing.
Tell you what, I'm excited for that LSU Ole Miss game. I think that has
Oh my
potential
gosh,
to be
me
a
too.
really good game.
Yeah. Especially because LSU is, ranked so highly and doing so well and is so favored to lose.
I don't know. I really don't. I think that game could go either way. I think it being, in Oxford definitely helps Ole Miss's chances, but I really don't know. I could see that game going either way. I could also see that game going into overtime and being a high-scoring affair. So, I don't know.
I think it will be high scoring. Not too high. I think we'll get to maybe 35
somewhere in there.
range. I think we'll be a mid-scoring game.
Okay.
I'm saying just because, Lane Kiffin is one to run the score,
He is wonderful.
and LSU's defense is giving us a reason to talk about him this year.
Yes.
So
we'll see.
I'm expecting it to be a really good game. I'm expecting them to keep up really well despite what ESPN matchup says. Not that I'm a huge fan of ESPN matchup regardless, but anyway. You know what I mean?
I do.
I expect them to compete, and I expect it to be a competitive football game. Not whatever crap LSU pulled when they were supposed to beat Florida. But
Yeah.
just do what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Play some dang football.
Amen to that.
Oregon Penn State, I hope you're impressive and earn game day's love this weekend.
They're not gonna be. I really believe, deep down in my soul, that this is going to be an unimpressive game.
As a Georgia fan, I hope it is, because they took game day away from Georgia, Alabama.
Which may not be the worst thing for Georgia, but still. For SEC football, for college football in general. Really?
But also for the sake of football, I hope that Penn State at least plays some football. I get they're 3-6. It's a higher ranked matchup, but yeah, your face says it all. And for those only listening, I wish you could hear Taylor's face.
My faces are quite loud.
It just, you can't tell me that game has more history and entertainment and is going to bring more fans than Georgia, Alabama at Sanford Stadium.
And I don't think Penn State's a good team.
Say it louder for the committee to hear you.
Here's a little fact that I found about Drew Aller the other day. Now, for those of you who are not chronically on football Instagram, let me fill you in. So, Drew Aller's QBR, which, just side note, we spent a good, 2 hours yesterday trying to figure out how QBR is calculated, and the short answer is ESPN owns it and doesn't release it. I'm still upset about that, but that's fine. But anyway, that's essentially the rating of a quarterback through, kind of all-encompassing. It includes their, their decision-making, their clutch factor, and their overall performance. So, Drew Aller's QBR is 38.8 through the first 3 games. For reference, Gunnar Stockton's QBR is in the 90s. So...
Because QBR is on a scale of 0 to 100.
Yes, it is. Yeah. 50 is about average. 38.8 is not 50. He would have a better QBR if he spiked the ball in the dirt every play. He would have a QBR of 39.6.
So if I came home with 38 on a test, I would no longer be a student.
Mm-hmm.
So how you get as far as you do with essentially a 38 test grade,
when you're supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, he was projected to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft after last year. Where?
In the number 3 ranked team in the country?
Excuse me? I don't think so.
Go up to the board and show me your work. Just,
yeah. Somebody use ChatGPT for all their answers. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. So, Miami jumping Penn State in the poll doesn't necessarily bother me, but LSU...
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The only argument that I think I would give Miami is they did beat ranked Notre Dame, which that was a big win. But you beat 1-3 Florida, big whoop. You moved up 2 spots to number 2. I think 1 spot would have been plenty.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think them moving up as high as they did has to do with who was... Say what you want, I think wrongfully placed above them to begin with.
I mean, I don't disagree.
And I think also, who was it, LSU at number 4?
Yeah.
I think LSU should be more at the number 6 range. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
After beating Florida, but a very low game where they should have won by a lot more against Florida and performed a little bit better against Florida.
Yeah.
I
do.
I'm struggling with the top of the AP poll right now.
The AP poll in general left me with some questions this week, but we'll get there.
TBD.
Yes. But we'll go ahead and give you our undefeated SEC teams. We've got Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Good for y'all. Well done. Oklahoma, Texas A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, and again, Mississippi State. Good for you. That's another one that kind of throws me off.
Yeah. Hey, Bridget. Hi, guys. How are you? So, from my kind of fun perspective this week, like I said, not much, but this one's pretty funny. So, the Ole Miss coach, Lane Kiffin, his daughter, unironically, is dating the stud LSU linebacker, Whit Weeks, I believe his name is. Yes, it's Whit Weeks. And I found this article from Outkick that says that, what Lane Kiffin's reaction to this was. And he said, Lane announced last night he's coming for Weeks' butt with as much firepower as he can throw at the guy who's getting awfully comfortable with his daughter. This sounds like something my father would say.
Well,
Coming from the guy who got Lane Kiffin's daughter to post a picture with said linebacker the week that LSU goes to Ole Miss, I mean, yeah.
I mean, what else do you really expect?
Yup. This is peak mind games, is what Trey Wallace said.
Yeah.
I took a picture of it and posted it to Twitter and was like, this is peak mind games.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin said to take the over.
Yeah.
Take the over, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny.
Lane said get off the Lane train and go back to
Yes.
LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
He said the Gus bus ends here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, no, they announced it. Apparently, like, he, like, went back and was like, oh, yeah, like, that guy that you're with looks like a nice dude. And then proceeded to, like, repost it to his story. So, like, it's official. You know when guys repost the girl's Instagram, that it's not just a, oh, hey, it's a, this one, yeah. She's mine.
Yes.
That might all depend how badly LSU gets beat, because regardless of them being ranked number 4 right now.
That sounds right.
Yeah, number 4, they are expected to lose very badly this weekend.
I'm excited for this game.
Me
Even
too.
without all of this, it adds another layer, but I think it's going to be a good game regardless.
Yeah.
And I want to shout out Matt Mitchell. The LSU part of his roll call this week where he was announcing like all the ingredients of the gumbo. He goes, we got bear gumbo, we got squirrel jumbo, we got shark gumbo, and whatever mascot they got this year gumbo. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that fits LSU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get that nice Cajun gumbo in there.
Yeah.
Always. But, I mean, and on a different note, slightly different, but Pat McAfee jumped into a pool in Miami.
Bro's farmer's tan.
Oh.
Horrendous.
Oh.
Reflective.
It was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Casper looks tan.
Yes.
That's all I gotta
That's
say.
like-
Casper looks tan.
Not much to say about that one. Just wow.
It's just,
Maybe self-tan before you go on TV.
yeah, maybe
Don't be
should not
ashamed.
have been.
Sometimes it's for the best.
Yeah, but maybe, like, it's Pat McAfee. Do you think, like, he did it on purpose? Like, he had the farmer's tan, like, on purpose, just for the specific reason that people would
I
talk
just don't
about
think
it?
he probably cared enough that he had it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, props to him for getting on the high dive in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
But would not be me.
Mm-mm.
But
Nope.
Good for him.
Props to him.
maybe get a spray tan next time.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Pat McAfee, newest model for Malibu tans. LA tan. Do you want light dusting or super crispy?
Tell me how you like your bacon cooked. That's how we'll spray you.
He needs Ross's tan.
Yes, exactly. But, so, I mean, with that being said, I'm your host, Bridget.
I'm your host, Taylor.
I'm your host, Sarah. Go
Dawgs!
Dogs!
Giga Maggies.